Hey, this is Justin with Outdoor Home, and this is the Outdoor Home Stay-at-Home Cooking Show. Today I am cooking tri-tip. It's one of the first things I ever made on the egg, and it's one of my favorite things to make. So you start off, you take your meat, you let it get about room temperature. The one I have on there now is about 2.5 pounds. I used steak and roast rub, coat it pretty liberally with that. On all sides, all around. Don't be afraid to go too heavy because it is a larger piece of meat, so you're going to want as much of that on there as you can. Then I hit it up with a little bit of the black, which has activated charcoal in it. That's what gives it the color, and that also helps lock in the moisture on the meat. So that's a really good one to use. And then also by Hardcore Carnivore is the Amplify. It's very similar to chicken bouillon. I do a small amount of that too. It just kind of gives it a little bit extra flavor on there. So I've had the tri-tip on the egg for about 45 minutes, maybe about an hour at this point. I've been using the dual probe, which is one of my favorite big green egg tools. It'll give you a readout on the grill temp and on your meat temp. I usually like to take my tri-tip off around 127. That'll get you a good medium rare steak. You can go a little bit longer if you want. And then even after you pull it off, it'll still gain about 5-10 degrees while it's off, wrapped outside of the egg. So yeah, we should be about done at this point. Yeah, we are about at the right temp. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull that off. About perfect.
Oh yeah.
Now I'm going to set it off there. I'm doing a reverse sear on it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shut this egg down, and I'm going to use the Mini Max because I'll be able to get that up pretty hot pretty quick. So it's definitely nice to have an additional egg. It's good for sides. It's good for a reverse sear like we're doing today. It's good for all sorts of stuff, and it's definitely a lot more mobile than your larger eggs. So it's good for taking camping, tailgating, all sorts of stuff. And this is the Bison air lighter here. Usually I'll go about 30 seconds, 45 seconds with the flame. And I think I'm a little bit low on the fuel, but I think we'll be able to get there. And normally as I'm letting that tri-tip rest, I would have some tinfoil on over that just to help it retain the heat. We're actually out right now, but that is not a big deal. It'll still be fine. We've got that going pretty good, so now I'm just going to stoke it for about another 30 seconds, 45 seconds, get it good and hot. Be going pretty good there. We'll let it go a little bit. can also give it a little bit of fan from the draft door. You'll just kind of angle it in there. It'll kind of create a vortex and definitely speed up the process. You can just watch that temp gauge climb. You want to get it around at least 400 or 500 degrees. I usually like to go a little bit hotter. Usually around 600-700 if I can. Now we're going.
Heck yeah. Feel it from here.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna say that's pretty good.
Yeah, I can feel it back here.
Get my grate back on there. Right. And usually you're going to shoot for about 60 seconds to 90 seconds per side. I usually go for the 90. I like it a little bit more charred on there, but 60 will be plenty. And as it goes, you'll notice the drippings will come off, the flames will start to lick up around it. Don't let that make you nervous. You're not going to burn it in that short amount of time. Get a little bit more fuel here. got about 15 seconds left.
It smells amazing.
It does. All right, call that about good. Oh yeah, that's about perfect. Some people will debate whether you want to do it fat side up first, fat side down after. I don't think it really matters. If you want to do fat side up, some people say it'll help, you know, melt itself over the meat. I'll do it either way. Doesn't make that much difference to me, but turns out fine either way. And I don't think I mentioned it, but whenever you're slow cooking it on the egg, you'll want to have the convector in there, which is important. You'll want to get it around 250 degrees. If you float between about 250, 300, you'll be fine. Just monitor that temperature. Definitely have a probe that you can check the internal temperature. That's the main point of the reverse sear, is just making sure you're getting the internal temperature that you want. And you can definitely see the flames looking up there. Sometimes after I do both sides, I'll take it around the edges, do them a little bit. Just real quick. And that is going to be about perfect. Pretty good.
Yeah, it does.
All right, so I am gonna go grab a cutting block and I will be right back. not sure exactly how long it's been. You usually want to let your tri-tip rest as long as possible. For this, I think we'll do somewhere between 5 and 10 minutes, which will be fine, but the longer the better. Some people go as long as 30 minutes. I got another guy that works here that will do a whole hour. So however long you want, it just helps retain the juices. If you go cutting into it too early, you'll lose all that moisture. It will just pour out of there. So we'll give it a little bit longer here. This is the big green egg cutting board. That, along with all the other big green egg accessories that I've talked about, we have available up here. We're still offering curbside. You can call ahead, give us your card over the phone. We'll just bring it out to you whenever you get here. We're also doing online. We're doing virtual tours if you want to look at some bigger items. So yeah, it's still really simple. We're still here. We're still working. So yeah, just get in contact with us. And you can see how well the egg retained the moisture in this. You can just see it running out of there right now. I'd say normally I would go a little bit longer, but I think we're probably about good to go. Put that over here. And one of the most important things with the tri-tip and with most cuts of meat is when you're slicing it, you want to slice against the grain. If you don't, it's going to be a little bit chewier. Just about ruins it. So definitely keep that in mind. With the tri-tip, the grain on it actually switches over near the center of the meat. Sometimes it's a little tough to tell, but it's running actually, let's see here, and I still struggle with this sometimes. It looks like it's about right there that it switches over. So I'll go ahead and slice across there just to make it a little bit easier. And there's still plenty of juice in that.
Oh, wow.
And I want a little bit more done than I usually do, but that is still gonna be delicious. So there's our grain there, and I slice it as thin as I can.
Looks like a waterfall.
Oh yeah.
Think anybody notice if I stole that piece on the end there?
No, I said go for it. Tell me how it is.
Let's see if we can get the camera shot here. It's so bright you can't see.
Any good?
That is good.
Better try piece two. That was pretty good. All right, and I'll cut that other portion here in a second. But if you want to, sometimes depending on how well I season it and everything, I'll do a dash more of that amplify on at the end just to give it a little bit extra flavor. Today I think it's got plenty on there, so I'm gonna leave it how it is. But yeah, that's my tri-tip. And yeah, this was the Outdoor Home Cooking Show. Join us again next time. We're doing it live, 1 o'clock, about every day now. So tune in.